Hello, YouTube.
Hello.
Hello,
We're
YouTube.
back, baby. We're back for some more Guild Wars 2, and we need to consult with Timey, and I don't think any of us can remember why, but it is what it is, right? My star's gone. Let's go.
Probably some very important analysis from her about the Dragon Response mission.
Yes. They're
We'll
boring.
keep working to see how we can
Just
use
timing.
it to our advantage.
Timetable?
The power readings aren't high enough to wake Primordus yet, if that's what you're asking.
Good enough. Gives us a little time to experiment. Counselors. Commander.
Steel catcher. What was he doing here?
Defeating Primordus will take more than just a pact, or its commander.
Information is more precious than munitions in this war. Jormag's champion came to receive it. As have you, I imagine.
That link we discovered between the destroyers and Primordus? A feedback loop, amplified by Krauk's death.
Destroyers burn more, Primordus gets stronger, destroyers get more rabid. The effect is exponential. With Ryland's help, we've identified and measured the Ice Dragon's cumulative power versus that of the Fire Dragon.
Jormag and Primordus are polar opposites. The scales should be level, but they're not. Not anymore. Fire is winning.
We need to find a way to cut Primordus off from the flow, or reverse it back to the destroyers.
Or boost Jormag's power to level the field again.
That is a reasonable approach, though I question its wisdom.
Either way, we need more time to understand the nature of the power flow.
Perhaps your elder dragon will have some insights, Commander.
Perhaps. Timey, where do you think the destroyers will attack next?
Somewhere near Divinity's Reach in a day or so. Logan's preparing. Ritluck and Krisha are helping him.
Good. I'll check in with Aureen before I head over there.
Zerumi, you went into a cutscene for half a second, according to my screen.
I did.
Yeah, you went like invulnerable, and the little cutscene thing showed up in your buff bar. But only you, not
Oh.
me or Luria.
No, I was doing inventory management and I clicked on a letter and it put me to a map.
Ah, that'll do it.
Ah,
You need to
Alright.
craft Boreal weapons, says Jorah, and I was like, yeah, Isk.
I bet it's really good if you raise Jormag's power level so they're even. That is, I think that is a perfect idea.
I don't think
What could go
anything
wrong?
can go wrong. Yeah.
Okay, I have the north.
We need to have a chat with
My
Bengar.
favorite expansion.
Not Jormag?
I'm wondering if he picked up more about Jormag and Primordus than he realizes.
Whoever's on comms, request immediate reinforcements at Doric's Landing. We're under attack!
The destroyers hit early?
No. Icebrood. Sons of Saga.
What?
What?
Get over here. We're not ready for this.
Hold on.
Let's see the color of your coin.
Luria can correct me if I'm wrong, but you've gone quiet again.
Fuck. What? How?
Do you agree, Luria?
Yeah, I didn't wanted to say it because it
No,
breaks
please.
the Rumi's heart.
No, I know it creates me pain, but please say, holy fuck.
I don't know how, why, and how it happened, Rumi. I swear, we don't lie to you or anything.
I'll let you know.
Oh,
It's
bear.
normal again.
This is black magic.
Did you
It
do
makes
anything?
no sense. I did, but surely I opened GeForce Experience game filter and checked that I have my filters on.
Ah. Are we good to go?
Dragon
Yeah.
response missions.
Let's
Woohoo!
respond to some
Protect Lake
dragon.
Doric.
Private. Yeah, I forgot that we'd gone back to our Heart of Thorns specs, so Zurumi is quickness, I'm a lack, and Luria
Because
is
we all
just
hated our Pass of Fire spec.
Except Elisha.
Weirdly enough, I was like the one that was really resisting. And I actually not really enjoying Weaver.
Sorry, Zed.
No, it's fine. I enjoy Tempest
We can
too.
go without a lack. You can play Weaver, but I'm doing quickness. Who will do what?
I kill the commanders and I rescue some peoples.
Yeah, I will give the improvised weapons to peeps.
Oh, okay. I'll kill shit. Icebrood captains killed. I'm gonna go kill Icebrood captains.
By the way, I have a Baldur's Gate 3 question.
Yes.
Is it normal that Baldur's Gate is completely empty without NPCs?
No, that doesn't sound normal.
Okay,
I mean, it depends where you are, I suppose.
Yeah, so it's not normal. Okay, good.
I'm making assumptions to answer that question.
Okay.
But I would say, depending, if you were to play the game in a completely normal way, you would expect to see NPCs in most areas.
So, like I said yesterday, we are we're playing Dark Urge, and I have
You
also
killed
my
them all.
companion called Murderer. So,
Yeah,
so what happened is we gained really quickly, like to level 12.
Oh boy.
It fucks with a few quests, so.
Yeah.
Only waiting for civilians and
I
more
have
weapon.
I have a few civilians. I get them in.
Yeah, please do.
On my Dark Urge playthrough, it's like I just give in to the urges. Like I'm kind of a dick, don't get me wrong, but like I don't just randomly kill people. I just give in to the urge if it comes up. And so spoilers for Dark Urge playthrough. You two are probably fine, but if anyone's watching this, like spoiler. So I finished the invasion of the Druid camp, right? With the goblins, and had the party of like Minthara and stuff. And so I romanced Minthara, and the plan was to recruit Minthara to the team. And then it just has an input, fantasize about snapping her neck, and I was like, oh god.
There it goes.
And I was like, my rules to myself, I have to click this button, but I really don't want to. So I hit F5, I quick save, and I'm like, alright, fantasize about snapping her neck. Boom, and Tara's dead. And I'm like, fuck! I wanted to my team.
What do you think would happen?
I knew that would happen, but my rules were that I would click it. Like, that's how I was going to play it. And I was like, no, like, this is the playthrough where I was going to have Minthara on my team.
Another thing that really surprised me, there's a scene where Lizelle was really worried about of the parasite and takes the main character with a knife, like, or like I'm putting an end to all of us, and you know, that we don't like get like husk and killing other people. And there's an option with then end it now.
Yeah,
and
you lose.
Yeah. And when you click it, you don't lose. Your main character is just permanently dead, and you can't res him.
For me, it just the game, like it just like was like your journey's over. Like go back to a save.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
What are you playing in hardcore mode?
Are you playing multiplayer? Did you have another player character?
Yeah, I play
that changes
multiplayer.
It doesn't give game over if you at least one player
okay, in single player it would be game over. Okay.
Could the rest have escaped?
Yeah, I was really surprised that, oh shit, that has action have consequences. Oh.
See, this is why I'm so torn with Baldur's Gate, because I really think, like, I really feel like I ought to play like the single save mode, where like you can't just I've
been playing it and I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, like I feel like I really would, and it means like there's actually some weight behind my decisions. But then there's things like this where like a dialogue option comes up and I just want to see what happens.
But that's why you play first with saves coming option. So you always have the option open. And once you're comfortable with the game, then you make the every roll counts.
Yeah, but that
persuasion
assumes that,
is guaranteed to succeed, and I need to manage my inspiration better because that's the only way I can re-roll anything. I enjoy it. I do recommend it, but only after you play the game once or twice.
I get that, but also like even if you've played the game once, that doesn't mean like you've been able to try all the different branches and stuff. So
yeah, but you know, maybe the biggest curiosity is sated. You know, they're like, oh, what if I just let Lae'zel know that let it all end here? You know, the game ending ones, and then almost everything else you can just roll with. Unless
and the other thing as well is like actually, I was going to say on subsequent playthroughs, you're probably not playing quite as exhaustively as you did in your first, so you know you can get through a few more playthroughs quicker. So if you do want to try out different things, then you just can through multiple playthroughs. But on my other playthroughs, I'm still doing like all the side content because I can't help myself. Like, oh, I don't want to miss potential new dialogue options.
Yeah, my first two, I experimented a lot, and I feel like I'm comfortable now with like a playthrough. What Zerumi said, that every action decision counts. I think.
Yeah, I like it because I need to plan around my inspiration usage.
But at first you want to really see like, oh, what is behind like all these options, and they are really cool options and things that happen. So yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I do think it probably should be the default.
You're missing villagers.
I just feel like it does kind of take. I don't know. I did abuse it a lot, but
I don't think single save should be
really
standard.
I think
no.
it should.
There's so many things that just end your game. Was a game over.
Yeah, but that's not the same though. That like hardcore is one thing, single save is a different option.
Yeah. I'm talking specifically about single save. And
I think this guy's both.
Also, like Lewis, there's so many options and stuff that you don't know the true repercussions of.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying like it's the worst idea, but I don't think it should be default. Because I think for most people, it's not... doesn't fit, like people would get frustrated with it.
That's fair.
People would play more carefully, which means they don't test out different stuff.
I think for me is like I am a flawed human being, and I don't like that I have the option to save scum because then I will abuse it. And I can't stop
for
myself.
you personally, being the standard gameplay, being the other one would fit better.
Yeah. But I get what you mean as well.
Also, there's the... I don't think it's something we should actually worry about as people, but I mean we do. Is the...
Easy?
How do I say it? Like if the standard is single save mode, then everybody who doesn't play that, they might get flack. Like people are already given flack if they save scum.
Yeah.
And then if the standard gameplay mode is that there's no save scum impossible, and you need to specifically put it on, like, oh, I want to play the save
like
mode,
people
then,
summoning in Elden Ring or something.
Yeah, and as I said, it's not really something that should have an impact on our decision making on what is standard and what is not, because
but it does, yeah, I agree.
Regardless, but it will change the how the game is perceived and what is considered like allowed or true gamer moves and like.
Because that's easy mode.
Yeah, you don't actually play the game if you don't play on single save.
I will say though, like
mastery Zerumi on the top of the hill.
Oh, I do. I think maybe.
I'll say like my temptation with Baldur's Gate was to start in Explorer. No, what's the easy mode?
Explorer, at least something like that.
It's like the story mode version, right? Because the start of the game's the hardest part of the game, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm so glad I didn't, because then the end of the game on normal mode was trivial.
To be fair, what I did with my casual playthrough with my more casual friend, we started on normal, and then we changed to tactician on Act 3.
That's fair, yeah. Are we? Tactician's hard at the start. My tactician playthrough, I was struggling. I was doing
it's really hard.
I was doing the, you know, where there's like the spiders, and it's where you get the orb to unlock the book, the Necromancy of Thay book.
Yeah.
I was doing that in tactician, and I was getting my ass handed to me.
I love it. Every playthrough I start, I play exclusively honor mode with thing like, oh, if I die, I'll just continue dishonorably, right?
I think I need to be there.
Because the single save mode, together with tactician difficulty, together with if you play honor mode, the honor mode specific boss mechanics is just like, once I've experienced the story and I'm playing it for the gameplay.
Yeah.
I want the gameplay to give all the challenges, and then it becomes like a puzzle game. Like, how do I know what the fight is about? How do I approach it with the builds I have decided to make? Like,
yeah,
it's a puzzle game. I love it.
I think part of my problem is not problem, because like I know I can beat it in tactician, right? It's not so difficult that I'm like, I don't want to keep going. I just kind of burned myself out of Baldur's Gate. I played too much of it. But I also started tactician with 4 new classes that I'd never tried before.
Didn't expect
yeah, that's can be a bit too much.
Probably wasn't the wisest decision. That said, I did because I watched a bunch of build guides and tier lists of spells and stuff, and everyone's like, oh yeah, hold person, hold monster is so good, and I never got it. I was like, you know, I was like myself as a child playing Pokemon. If it doesn't do damage, I'm not interested, right?
Yeah.
Or
it's the same, but the spell slow, for example, was really good. That is the only like CC spell I think I use, because slow, multiple people has a high chance of succeeding, super powerful.
Yeah.
That is basically the only CC or things that I really used.
No, I used hold person with a fighter. Like, my fighter didn't have hold person, but my character's a bard, using hold person, and then I had the fighter and just getting like crits, and I was like, oh my god, this spell is so good. But what's really upsetting though is, like, at this stage of the game, my spell save DC is quite low, and so the chances of me actually succeeding a hold person is quite low. So it's like it's big risk.
You need to pick up the gear that
yeah.
And then it's like super nice.
But
my favorite command, well, spell is command.
Oh yeah, that's
like
good as well.
Versatility. Yeah. I just adore command. Probably one of my favorite, like, pink spell.
It's also not a concentration. That was my biggest issue.
Exactly, so I can concentrate on other stuff.
Yeah, that was my biggest reservation with hold person, because I'm like, oh well, if I do that, then I can't use haste, or I can't use bless, or you know, something else. But damn, if you can get it off, it is really good. And on my Dark Urge playthrough, I'm a sorcerer, and I got to see the wonderful twin cast hold person, or twin cast haste. Oh ho ho! Good shit. I was like, oh, sorcerer can't be as good as wizard. You only get like 5
my
spells.
favorite character I played with Warlock Paladin.
Ooh, yes. I heard that's
a nice
fun
combo. I like it.
Yes.
That was fun. I played with Sorcerer, Fire Sorcerer, a Draconic Fire Sorcerer, so I just threw Scorching Ray and Firebolts everywhere.
Yeah.
Fireballs everywhere. I played... I played a Bard. Both a Lore Bard, half of a game. That game got terminated. It was co-op, and we were playing modded. And an update came and wrecked it all, and then we just didn't have the energy to go back to it again. I think it's fine, but half of the game I played Lore Bard, or like Act 1, it wasn't even half. sword bard, like DPS sword bard with control spells and pew pew
We'll meet you
pew.
on the path, Bram.
What else did I play? Now I'm playing a druid because I'm playing with a very casual friend of mine. And we're just enjoying kind of the role play aspect of it a lot. So I'm doing druid because druid can do a lot of things, and I'm there just to support her.
Yes.
And I think druid does that pretty well. And I'm kind of like against druid, so I was like, you know, time to give druid a chance. And
I'm with you there.
grow to like it because it just didn't grab me ever.
Yeah, at the moment, druid is by far my least favorite class, but it's also the class I've spent the least time with. So, you know, I don't think it's probably very fair of me to say that. But I don't know. I've never really vibed with like transformy sort of things. So.
Me neither. Hence, I'm not playing at all with combat. Forms.
And so then for me, I know this isn't true, and but in my head I was just like, this just feels like a worse version of cleric.
I think it kind of is, according like so far. But again, if you're playing more roleplay heavy with a friend, where we're playing and we're making kind of our own stories about our characters on the way, and we're making a lot of jokes and stopping, like standing around in front of the grove for 50 minutes just to talk shit, right?
Yeah. And the game's not that challenging that you can't experiment with like slightly subpar builds.
Yeah, definitely not. And every class is strong enough to be super good. So what I've noticed so far with the druid is it has some really unique, fun stuff. I'm playing a spore druid.
Okay.
I don't like minions, so I'm not planning on doing any ghost summons. But I can do damage as a reaction. That's kind of unique. I can like cast and spell with a reaction thanks to being a spore druid. I can transform to a small cat to go through all those little holes that are little throughout the game. And just hang out in cat form next to my friend while my friend does all the roleplay and talking to the characters, and I'm just meowing next to her.
I heard that.
Like, it has no application to gameplay or stuff, but it's fun.
Yes. Yeah. That's viable.
Roleplay wise again. And the couple spells that are kind of druidic spells are actually really nice. It loses in terms of power and utility to cleric and sorcerer. But Spike Growth is nice, flavorful spell that's strong. Shillelagh means I can bonk in melee, so I can play ranged caster if I want. And if my friend wants to be like the caster, I can be like kind of melee tank with the temporary hit points from Spore Druid and Shillelagh whacking things with the staff to support her doing that. And I can just do about everything. Not very well, but I can do it.
I think,
and that so far has been nice.
Yeah, I mean, part of my issue, part of the reason I haven't really engaged with Druid is because, especially on my Tactician playthrough, which I had intended to bring a Druid in, I wanted to have like Halcyon as the Druid, and so I have to play quite a way through the game before I know I could just respec.
Yeah, but I get your point.
I don't want to do that. I want to keep them as their like default class at least. I don't mind changing their subclass. That said, Karlach's a monk in that playthrough, so. But Karlach as a monk feels a bit more. I don't know. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think it fits.
I just imagine she's a barbarian that punches.
Is the most fitting, but I mean, as I said, it's.
Cap also played like Karlach on Monk, and she was super fucking strong. Monk is one of the most broken classes, I think.
Once I got Tavern
I also
Brawler.
like the martial arts aspect of monks, like class
because Cap had like 4 actions and like 3 bonus actions that follows up with like extra attack. It was crazy. Yeah.
What do I do? Okay.
Focus on the connection, Bram. Kaz and I'll split his focus.
No, as soon as I got to level 5 on Monk, on my Tactician playthrough, it just went from being really difficult to easy mode. Like, it just transformed.
Yeah, and it's not reliant on weapons.
Early game, not great.
Like,
it's not great
your
until you get
damage
Tavern
cannot
Brawler.
be stopped even.
It's insane. It's
Oh yeah,
actually
then I
nuts.
played Pure Fighter. Pure Fighter as an archer and as a dual wielder, like dexterity-based fighter. I've also played.
Fighter's fun. I like Fighter. I say like if
Fighter
somebody's
is
like
so fucking fun.
I obviously I started with Paladin, which I really enjoyed. But if I were to like say to somebody who's like completely brand new to like D&D and stuff, I'd just be like go Fighter. It's just like you want to be really strong without having to really think. Just go Fighter.
But I think what was not super strong but really useful, it was also super strong, so don't make it. But I really enjoyed playing Warlock with Eldritch Blast and stuff like that. It was also really
I am always
enjoyable.
saying to my friends, go whatever. Like, I think together with me,
viable,
explain and the spell UI, even like I think spellcasters in D&D are kind of difficult to understand for me at least. I'm not saying for everyone, but PGG makes them more streamlined because it automates the process. You don't need to count your own spell slots and think of
I'm surprised. Like
what
I know
is
there's
upcasting and all that, right? It just does it automatically in the game, like thanks to the UI.
Yeah, I mean for me, I'm really surprised that I know you get like D&D Beyond and stuff, but it's still quite. You still have to kind of manage your own resources and stuff. I'm really surprised there isn't like a sort of all-in-one character management thing that does that sort of stuff for you in the D&D space. I'm not talking about like having maps and stuff like that. Just purely, I want to cast this spell. What options do I have on my character sheet? I'm surprised it doesn't really exist. D&D Beyond kind of does it, but not to the extent I think it should.
But my original point was, that's a good point. Original point was, whenever I play with the
on the top here is a mastery point as well.
Yeah, no, I have it. I have that one. Let me gather my thoughts real quick.
Sure.
I got my thoughts appeared. So whenever I'm playing with a friend, I'm just the game is the funnest when you play whatever is like nicest class fantasy roleplay wise and stuff. So I always say pick whatever you like, and if they're like, I don't know, like there's 4 or 5 different casters or like 3 pure casters or something like that. I don't remember from memory what is pure caster and what is half caster. But point is, like I want to play caster, and they don't really get the lore or
hundreds of years to come. I don't know what the
they don't really. They just want to play caster. They don't care if it's like where their power comes from. They don't care if they're wizard. They don't care if they're sorcerer. They don't care if they're warlock. Or they know they want to bonk things hard. Depending on what the gameplay they want to be, if they are not so roleplay reliant, I'm always saying, hey, if you want to play caster, go warlock for the easiest one.
We have to put a stop
in my
to
opinion.
this.
Really? Okay.
In my opinion, if you want to go melee, then go pure martial.
Anytime.
You mean fighter?
Like fighter or monk. If you want to be more nimble. Thief is also nice, the sneak attack, but that requires you to do sneaking gameplay, know where you can sneak, and get those sneak attacks. And I've noticed that can be a really struggle when you're new to the controls of BGG and you're new to D&D.
I don't need to tell you how dangerous that is.
That's a lot to some people, so...
Yeah, my issue with
no,
Thief...
just go basically fighter, monk, or warlock.
Yeah, my issue with Thief is like... Thief feels really good early game, I think, but I think its progression is quite underwhelming later in the game. Like, I don't think you get past level 5 or whatever. You don't get a lot of fun stuff with Thief.
Yeah, you never get 2 attacks, so you're always just doing one attack.
Yeah, there is a cool thing.
Kind of underwhelming. It's not necessarily that bad damage-wise, but it just doesn't feel good.
I think it really leans into the utility rolls, because like I know like level 10 you get like you can't roll less than a 10 or something for sleight of hand or whatever, which is quite cool. But at that point, at least, especially in BG3. If you have the gear and the expertise and the dexterity points, you're not failing sleight of hand checks very often. So I was like, okay, this is just making me more overpowered in an area I was already overpowered in.
Yeah. To be fair, every time I play Thief, I've multiclassed every single time.
Same, yeah.
I've done Thief Monk for melee. I've done Thief Ranger for archer. I've done.
No reason. Imagine my mind.
I just keep falling back to
Thief Fighter as well.
Thief Fighter sounds fun.
The balance is needed.
I always just fall back to the Assassin Gloomstalker build. It's just
Will kill us.
it's too good.
Everybody say it's super good. I've only recently, in like 4 months, started it or more. Last time I started a gameplay through, that was the first time I was playing Gloomstalker ever. So I've done most of my playthroughs never having a Gloomstalker in my party, and I'm only now playing it for the first time. Yeah, it's good.
It's very good.
It's very good, but I would like the Gloomstalker to be my main character.
Yeah.
And honestly, it feels like the most fun if you play with only one teammate or no teammates. Because when I play Gloomstalker, it feels... I just want to do the sneak gameplay, I noticed. I'm like halfway through Act 2.
I see. I mean, the sneak definitely makes it good, but I found that
Maybe we can at
the
least take
teammates
some
get in the
pieces off
way.
the
They
board.
get spotted faster than I do, and then I'm in combat and turn-based while I just can pick things off.
well, that's more the assassin side of it, to be honest. The Gloomstalker side doesn't really benefit from
Commander, it's Jory.
the sneak at the start. Like it does because you get advantage and stuff, but it's assassin really that wants you to
Yeah,
to
that's true.
surprise
But it
people.
was Assassin Gloomstalker.
Yeah, of course,
That
naturally.
felt really fun as kind of solo or duo playthrough more so.
Oh, two
Most of the-
Gloomstalker assassins.
You're competing for gear, unfortunately.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like running just me and Shadowheart. Shadowheart was like my buffing cleric. It was just me and Shadowheart running around, and then when I know there was combat ahead, I just told Shadowheart to wait there, cast me with some buff spells, and then I went in solo.
Yeah, it's not a good idea when you're playing with friends and friends playing like two like very similar classes. They're competing with gear, and that leads to tension, I think.
It's not just classes, it's because like for example, on my playthrough with my buddy, I'm playing a Gloomstalker assassin, but I'm using the Titan Slayer bow.
Yeah, Titan String Bow.
Titan String, yeah.
It's the one
One of the best bows of the game.
Yeah, I know, but I need strength, but also Karlach needs strength because she's a barbarian, and so that's been kind of annoying.
There's a maze in the game that
I know, yeah,
that is really like shitty, but you can use it as your offense.
Yeah, it gives you 19
scales
strength.
Your strength down, up to 19.
Yeah, but then that's not as good as 27, is it?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's certainly more than enough. But we did because this is like my buddy's first playthrough, so I'm letting him choose where we go. So we never actually went to the Wizard's Tower that has it. And so I was like, okay, that's fine.
I usually do that. I let the friends just kind of go and do their own stuff, and while they're doing like heavy roleplay segments somewhere, I'm just sneaking to the areas
well, what I've
they
been
missed
doing
and
is
grabbing the items.
yeah, what I've been doing is not abusing, but I've just been like farming up strength elixirs, like because it's my save as well. So what I've just been doing is like between sessions, I've just been farming up elixirs from vendors to make sure I've got enough. The strength elixirs are nuts. They're broken.
Yeah, bonkers.
They're too good.
I'm a lazy person. I did one run farming with those potion stuff, and once you have them, then you have them for the rest of the game.
The one that gives you like 27, like right?
Well, I'm talking about the one that give less because Act 1 doesn't have the 27 ones.
Just got here myself.
So I was farming the early ones, the 21 or 22 ones. I don't remember what they were.
I just wish it was under better circumstances.
At all.
It's 21, yeah.
I was farming those. And I just really dislike farming. I just, you know, I'm so lazy. I don't want to do that. And on the further playthroughs, I never deal with any of the potions. Like, I buy some if I see them, but I don't go out of my way to reset the merchants to keep getting them.
What? You don't have a transmute wizard just sitting to do alchemy for you?
In that one save I had, that's the thing. I did have in that one save, and I don't like the camp gameplay, like the buffing.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I did it for the honor mode, and it was really useful and good. For serious honor modes, I will keep doing it. But if I'm just having fun, I'm not gonna bother with the elixirs. I'm not gonna bother with any of the camp buffers. I'm just gonna go in with what I have, and that's.
I think especially for Act 1 it can be a great help, but later for Act 2 and 3, when it's just tactician and you have nothing to lose, then on honor mode, when you really have stakes that high, then I completely agree. But otherwise, just to have fun.
But I think for me, like, it comes back to that thing I said earlier, that if there's an option, I can't help myself to it but abuse it. I will say, like, the camp stuff I can live with, right? But I do think the strength elixirs are not balanced. I do think they really, and they're not gonna be, but I think they should have been nerfed to some respect. It's just
I think it's fine. There's OP, but it's really good, and I like watching a lot of build videos because I don't want to come up with my own build. I want to have a base from the internet and then I make it mine. That's what I do. Or sometimes I just straight up copy paste if I don't want to make changes to it. But a lot of the honor mode builds are like strength paladin or strength fighter or strength monk, and none of them have any stats in strength.
Yeah, that to me is broken. Like, I don't think that should be allowed. It's so easy anyway. Because not only
I did my strength monk, I did it with actually having strength build, and then I have dexterity gloves. That's how I did my monk, my Tavern Prowler monk. And it was still plenty of strong, and I didn't need to worry about any potions or anything, and I could just enjoy the gameplay. Super fun.
Yeah, and there's an opportunity cost there. Like, by wearing those gloves, you're losing out on other good gloves. But to be honest, like, okay, there are other decent elixirs, but when you're playing a strength build, there's not a huge opportunity cost to using the strength elixir. The other elixirs aren't really that game-changing at that point compared to the strength elixir.
Were they a potion or like they were elixir, right?
They're an elixir, yeah.
But are you sure they don't stack with Bloodlust elixir? Yeah? Because Bloodlust is another really good one. Yeah.
Bloodlust is okay.
You can still speed potion.
You can still speed potion, yes.
Yeah, because potion and elixirs are like own.
Yeah. So there's not a major cost.
And speed potions often are balanced, I think, because after the 3 turns, or when you get like cleansed, you basically are stunned for a round. It's a payoff. Right?
Yeah. So if it were me, I'd have this. Like, you can keep the elixir, give you high strength, cool. But I think there should be more of a cost. Like, it should reduce your dex or something. Or it should just be harder to get these elixirs.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer to have one of these elixirs, and they are just there until a long rest.
Yeah, so like, imagine how the elixir works is for every point of strength it gives you, you lose a point of dex, right? So say you have 8 strength and you pop this elixir. Oh, it's just giving you 13 points of 13 points of strength. There should be a cost for the amount that it gives you. Maybe not dex, maybe something like that.
Maybe it makes you completely stupid and you don't make the
you have disadvantage on or like wisdom intelligence check for it.
Exactly. But like, you know, there's no cost to just completely dumping strength if you're running that build, which to me doesn't feel fair.
I mean, there is the cost that you need to go out of your way to farm those potions and everything. And that's something I can't be bothered. Yeah, but I can be bothered to do that. I don't want to do that. They cost a lot as well.
Often enough, you just found them in chests and stuff like that.
Not enough.
Don't get me wrong. Towards the end, I did start over farming them, but to be honest, once you stop dying, like,
I'll give you a moment to plan.
it's very hard to run out of these elixirs, I think.
I mean, in our playthrough, we don't really need to long rest anymore because I have this angelic potion that where I get all the benefits of a long rest, like with this potion, and I'm the only one that uses space slots. Oh, and Shadowheart as well. But we did like at the beginning at Act 3 a long rest, and then we didn't anymore. We needed them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what teammates. If you have like a blaster sorcerer, for sure wants to have a lot of long rests. So it depends on that. And again, if I'm playing a roleplay heavy, which is my favorite way of playing BG3 currently, is just delving into the roleplay side of it more, like choosing a character and trying to build the character's kind of backstory and making choices what the character would make, even they are not the best options.
Yeah.
That means I want to long rest often to see all the events, night events, because you will be skipping them. So that's also a gameplay difference.
But the thing with that is, and I know if you're playing a roleplay, you're not going to do this. What you can do is just that when you do actually long rest, don't long rest once, long rest like 10 times.
Yeah, that's what I did in my honor mode. I've done I pulled all the tricks on the honor mode. I did like camp buffer, partial resting 7 times.
Yes, same. Well, I didn't do honor mode, but
the long rest mechanic is also not good enough explained, because when you often long rest, you're missing some missions and quests, and when you don't long rest enough, you're missing out of important story bits. I feel like there is a mod that
you don't miss anything by long resting.
Yeah, you do. There's like two cases where you do. One is
there are the 2 cases where you do.
If you long rest. No, there's a couple of others. So, like, if you long rest after you find out that one of the tieflings is missing from in Act 2, if you long rest, then he will die.
The wizard. Yeah.
And there's another one, but like, it's not that many to be fair.
Mircon, the child, will die in the grove. If you find out where he's lost, and then you don't protect him.
You mean the one with the sirens? Yeah.
Yes.
The Sirens one will die.
That's not that important.
If you tell Mintara the location of the grove, and then...
Yes, the long rest will trigger the start of the...
I'm not sure if it triggers it. I'm actually
no, you
not
have
sure
to go to the grove. Yeah, you have to go to the grove,
It might be that it doesn't progress ever unless you blow the horn.
Yeah,
but I think if you... Yeah, as I said, I don't know. On that one. Grimforge gives you only 1 or 2 rests, and then Nier dies.
Yes.
You can't find him anymore, and the Grimforge gets like emptied out of all the NPCs.
But I think that's fair, and in most of those cases, you know there's a sense of urgency.
The lady will be executed. Once you read the news that is set to be executed in like 3 or 7 days time, if you take that many long rests, as it stays on that poster, she gets executed, and you can't.
Are you talking about Florence?
Yeah.
Oh god, okay, I forgot about that. I think me and my friend are at that point. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, she gets executed.
I think the thing I dislike about it is there's sometimes a bit of inconsistency, because there's some things where, like, take the hag at the start, for example. You can do the first part of the fight of the hag where she like runs to her into her hideout underground, and then you can long rest after that, which I was really surprised about. I would have thought, like, if you long rest between those fights, the girl will get killed or something, but no, it was perfectly fine. So like, it doesn't really teach you like, oh, you shouldn't long rest when there's a sense of urgency consistently.
We need to lure them to the flames.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. I've found I was rarely punished for long resting, and if I was, it was usually like if I'm long resting in a really obviously high urgency situation, where I really It kind of kills the RP. It kind of kills the immersion to long rest anyway. We need to come back out.
It's just another fun story you get to tell your friends in the tavern.
But I'll say as well, the other reason I'm okay with the camp casting thing is because the cost.
I mean, I'm okay with all of them, all of the stuff in the game.
I mean, I'm okay with
because
it.
I'm pretty good at also ignoring them. Like I said, I've been ignoring the potions because I can't be bothered. So it doesn't bother me that they're in the game for those.
Yeah, like it doesn't really bother me that they're in the game. I more just mean like if I was the developer, I probably wouldn't be okay with necessarily those things. But the camp casting thing I'm more okay with as well, because there is a even bigger cost in my mind to the camp casting, which is you really don't want a long rest if you're doing camp casting, because you know you're gonna have to do that big fucking process of buffing everyone up again. And it's so annoying. Or you're like, oh shit, I've used aid and I've used the hero's feast and I forgot to spawn in my summons. Oh, I can't be bothered doing it all again.
I have little sway over my people. But perhaps if I tell the story to
I'm rezzing these script, I don't really know why.
Opinions will change. Any who wish to fight with us need only say the word. Farewell, Caladris Sparrowhawk.
Do.
Champion, I have something urgent to show you.
The amusing thing though is now that I have discovered twin casting on Sorcerer, I've realised that my buddy that I've been playing with has been a Warlock Sorcerer and he's had twin casting haste this whole time and he's never used it.
Haste is another thing. Haste is really powerful.
It's broken.
I don't think I ever cast haste. It's another one of those things that I know it's good. I just don't enjoy it. I don't find it fun, so I don't do it.
Love haste.
I use speed. Yeah, I use speed potions. Don't get me wrong. I like the turn limit thing.
Yes.
But I don't enjoy using my concentration on haste.
It's my destiny to see Jormak dead.
No, for me,
everything.
I
know it's powerful. It's probably
movement speed and
hey, I'm not arguing with that. I just don't enjoy casting haste on my casters because my casters are almost always DPSs.
That's a lot on your
and I just don't want to buff with them. I want to have other characters buff my character, not me being buffed. I just don't like it.
But you can cast haste on yourself.
I know, but I don't like casting haste. I like using the potions instead.
I get that, because it's a bonus action as well, so there's that. But I will say, I found this funny Reddit post where it was like, what's the best single target DPS spell on Sorcerer? And the first comment was, using haste on your melee character. And I was like,
using haste on your monster fighter or
barbarian. No, I get where you're coming from. I mean, it kind of... I see where you're coming from, but I'm okay with it because...
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just one of those things that I realized very early on that I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't even, I'm playing Sorcerer... and this time a healing buffing, like I have a duality, like I do damage. I'm a healer, but I do damage, right? Kind of meme. On the actual tabletop D&D we're playing, and I didn't even pick up haste. The haste there is worse on tabletop. It's better in game than it's in tabletop, but it's still like one of the most strong. I didn't even pick up haste in our tabletop. I don't like haste. Like I have absolutely nothing against it, and I know it's really strong and can be really fun. I just want other concentration spells. For the gameplay and for the role playing.
I get that. I really enjoy haste, but I understand where you're coming from. I mean, the whole wanting to, I'm even more okay with using haste because even if I use my turn to use haste, if I use haste on myself, then I get a second turn, so it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, like it's kind of trivializing, and it's.
Can you interrupt that, please? Sorry, I was following the conversation and didn't talk with Aurin yet.
Yeah, and it kind of takes a lot of the decision making out of things because you're like, oh well, I'm just gonna use haste at the start of every single fight because it's the best option. But for me, at my point, every concentration gets compared to haste. You know, like, oh, there's a concentration spell. If I use this, I can't use haste. Yeah, that's another one I think. If I'm Larian Studios, I nerf haste.
It is nerfed on honor mode.
Oh, how so?
Or this? Yep, it works differently.
Can you explain how?
Well, I mean, I don't use it, so, but
Oh,
I know
okay.
it's different. I can quickly check what it does. Where is haste? Third level spell.
And also with haste, it's one of the things you can buff before a fight and then engage like the fight and don't lose any like actions before.
So the thing, I think the honor mode thing of haste is that you don't get like extra attack on your other turns. So like if you have a second turn, like in normal mode, if you
so you only get one extra attack. You don't get an extra action. So for fighter example, on level 11 fighter, one action is 3 attacks.
Yes.
Haste gives you 6 attacks just from your action.
Yes. So that
on
is
normal mode,
definitely...
it just gives you 1 extra attack.
But that's still the haste. Even with that,
It's still
haste
good,
is still
yeah.
like by far, well, not by far, but one of the top tier. If it's me, I at least
because
remove
it's
like the
so much like plastic everywhere. As I said, I like the puzzle aspect, so I want to have different spells and I want to create an experience for myself. Well, haste is not always the right answer, which is it. So I just don't use it.
If it's me, I reduce the number of turns down to like. Honestly, I take it down to 3, same as speed potion. I think it makes it more of like a do I want to use
but there's
haste?
a risk with that. If you put it the same to speed potion, why not just always use speed potion instead?
There is an open cavern.
Because then it's the exact same. It's worse than speed potion because it takes a concentration, same amount as the speed potion, and you lose a turn afterwards because you always get lethargic after haste.
Yes, that's fair. So 5. I make it 5.
The plan is perfect.
Yeah, 5 is enough for most fights.
Yeah.
You will kill everything in 5 turns. I mean, I kill most in those 3 speed potion turns, so...
Exactly.
Or I make haste like a level 5 spell.
Yeah.
Being
I mean,
level 3 is
BG3
kind of nuts.
is on D&D, so...
I know.
It's like core principles of some D&D spell stuff.
That's fair. But like both of those things are D&D. Like presumably haste is still 10 turns of double actions and extra AC.
Nope.
And
it's only 1 extra attack.
Yeah, no, but... Oh, sorry.
Like, take this with a grain of salt. My D&D rules are like, I just do whatever my DM or players I play with tell me. I'm really bad with remembering the rules.
Yeah. I thought that D&D's haste was just honor mode. Haste.
Yes, but on spellcasting specifically, you cannot cast 2 spells in 1 turn.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know.
I like BG3 that you can cast 2 fireballs. Like if you have the action economy to cast 2 fireballs, you can cast 2 fireballs. I like that. But in
I
D&D
agree
you
because that's unfair. Like compared to like martial classes, I think that unbalances things a little bit if they can't do that.
Yeah,
so I agree.
But as a case, D&D sometimes feels very low impact. Like you take your turn in combat in D&D.
Yeah.
You throw 1 spell and you miss,
and yeah.
That's your freaking turn.
I fucking like my first experience with D&D. I decided to like meme about a little bit, and I wanted to make a paladin who wasn't very good at being a paladin. And I regretted that so fast. I was like every turn attack, miss, attack, miss. I was like, why have I done this to myself? So I was like, hello, Mr. DM. I've really fucked up. Can I please respec?
Yeah, and at least on Paladin does get 2 attacks.
Yeah,
but it was exactly like the roleplay you created for yourself.
I know, but I was a stupid roleplay. It just wasn't fun at all. So I think I kind of moved more to I'm a paladin, but I'm a dumbass. Like, you know, I've got like lowest intelligence, and like as my roleplay, I'm really stupid, but I'm confidently stupid. Which I feel like is reasonable for a paladin. But even then, like level, I think we're only on level 2. in our D&D, it's going really slowly.
You're only level 2?
Yes. Well.
Oh my goodness.
My friends are just so busy. We play like once every 2 months.
I mean, there is that meme that D&D's worst enemy is getting all the players together.
Yes.
Time scheduling.
Yeah.
Biggest bad.
It's not really ongoing, and we're doing like milestone leveling. And we've only hit the first milestone. But man, it's depressing. Even like with like my quote unquote good paladin build, it's just like
I mean, you're
I'm
level
missing
2.
half.
Nothing is good.
I know. That's why I'm saying quote unquote. But missing in a turn is just so sad because it takes so long to get back to your turn again.
Yeah, we are currently with our D&D crew. Our D&D DM is taking a writing break because we are playing completely original world, original story, original everything, using the D&D combat mechanics. So the DM is taking a writing break to write the next part, the next act. And meanwhile we are playing Lancer, which is a mech roleplay system. So you pilot these mechs, and your classes basically come from what mech licenses you have, like what mech you're riding, what weapons you pack onto the mech, and what abilities you put on the mech. And we're like, we've been started on playing level 0, and we're now level 2, and I feel like there's so many more options in what I can do than D&D. Like D&D lower levels is just I can do one thing during this turn. There's 3 things that I would like to do. I need to choose between them.
Well, at least I have Divine Smite now. So I can
You can smite a couple of times. Like, but you have 2 spell slots.
Yes, but it was before it was
so you can
okay.
smite a
Well,
couple of times.
it
Yeah,
was
it's
attack,
better than level 1.
attack,
Yeah.
attack. But now I can Divine Smite twice.
I actually, fun fact, I never played level 1 or level 2 characters. Every D&D game I played, we started at level 3 at the lowest.
Well, I think the thing is, everyone in this group is new, so I think starting at level 1 makes sense because then the mechanics
I don't think it's bad, but it's a very slow grow up.
Yes, and it really
combat-wise at least. Roleplay is fine.
Our DM is like the busiest out of all of us. Like he has the least time out of all of us, which I think is a recipe for disaster. We're doing like a pre-made as well.
I've never played an actual D&D campaign, like pre-made. I would like to do that one day. I've never played one.
But
I've
it's
only
just
played homebrew.
Like we're never finishing. We're never gonna finish. We're never gonna. We've had like 3 sessions total in like a year. So.
That also means the break between the gameplay sessions is so long.
Yeah.
And if you had some ongoing personal plot going on, it's really hard to always get back to it.
Well, yeah,
because you had such a long break.
It's very hard to stay in the
character.
Yeah, and then when you get back, everything just like you can't remember everything, so it just isn't really that fun. To be honest.
And then you have to learn everything all over again every time.
Yeah. Like having had played BG3 in the meantime was really useful for me because I like the first session it was my first introduction to D&D and I'd never interacted with any of it, whereas I know BG3 changes some things from D&D and I'm aware of that, but having had played it, I came back and I was like, okay, this like I kind of know what I want to do now. I know what makes sense as a build. I know you know, various mechanics a lot more, so that helped a lot. But
yeah, I never played any spellcasters before I played BG3. BG3 made me understand spellcasters in a way. I started my sorcerer before BG3, but I learned my sorcerer way better. Like BG3 has been such a good teacher for me.
Yep.
I'm a visual learner, and D&D just kind of, because it's mostly theater of the mind and papers and stuff, and you need to keep track of everything yourself and mark how you use spell slots however you want. It just really didn't help me learn learn anything.
Oh, I'm getting damage here. Oh,
I'm supposed to go there. Come back.
Have I gone too far? But yeah, I know there are certain aspects of D&D that people, like some DMs have brought into just playing. Like the spell one that you said about like haste and spells and stuff. I think a few people quite like that, and the fact that you can use help, I think, to pick people up, or is it that you can throw a heal on someone to res them?
Yeah, the throwing healing pots is another thing. Also, I think in core D&D rules, drinking a healing pot is a full action.
Yeah, that.
So if you want to drink a healing pot to heal yourself, you are not going to do almost anything else during that turn. It's just kind of archaic design, old, you know, old and minimalistic. But I think most. Well, I wouldn't know. I've only played with the same player base. I never played with anyone else except my friend group. My friend group has, for the longest of time, had the rule that you can drink a potion as a bonus action.
You must be tricked into claiming the connection. How do you
And because our DM is so cool, whenever we want to do like a cool backflip attack that doesn't have set system or mechanic in D&D, we'll make them on the spot. So he might say, okay, if you make a backflip from on top of that building to land on that enemy with your greatsword, and you do like triple flips in the air, you have to roll your attack with disadvantage, but if you hit, you can crit.
That makes sense.
You know, on the spot, like fun stuff. Like if we're being really funky, the DM might, you know, go for it here.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not doing that sort of stuff, you're kind of missing the spirit of D&D to an extent. Like if you're a real stickler for the rules and you'll only do something that's in the rules, then it can still be fun. But I think the real beauty of D&D is that sort of stuff you just said.
Yeah, like games are rigid. Games have a code that they follow. But tabletop, everything can be discussed, everything can be talked, everything can be.
Did he survive?
Changed for rule of
able to
cool.
bond with Primordus. Yes, but I'm cut off from him now.
Things like that.
Brem sacrificed himself
But yeah,
to
I've been
protect us all.
picking the Lancer. I'm not a huge mech fan.
His plan could very well succeed. If Jormag and Primordus
But
are coaxed
I've been
into
enjoying it.
confrontation,
It's really
they
cool.
will destroy each other.
But what happens to Brem when they do?
It was his choice.
So I can recommend
We have to respect
from like a couple sessions
No
that I've
matter
played, I
the
can recommend it to everyone.
We owe him that.
To get a chance to also try Lancer.
Can I say something to the story we just played?
Sure.
What's your day look like?
I wish there was
Sure you're
more
about to
build
tell
up in
Alice and
like
I
Bram's
reached out to
decision to
Omicron.
become like
We're
promoters,
spearheading
like
the alliance.
champion, and
Long-term.
the help of the
that something
spirits,
they'd be
like to
interested
bond
in?
with them
I mean,
and make
with
the
the Flame Legion
connection.
back in the
I
picture.
feel like
Like a
it's
new Flame Legion,
you really
or a
feel
new
it's really
charm,
rushed
a
and they
united
came
charm.
up with the idea
Omicron
because
are
it
at
has
least willing to hear us
literally
out.
no build up or anything.
But it has very
Fox is
little
their
build up.
representative, and I'd like you to
In
join us.
the first
Reminder,
DRM missions we
neutral
did,
mediator.
Right beyond.
Bram could
Haven't
sense
seen rocks since
where
Dragonfall.
the
Be nice to catch up.
Primordus
We're meeting
minions were.
south of Lion's Arch, Blood Tide Coast.
I think that's like a soft
See you
build
soon,
up, but
Commander.
I agree it's definitely not
so-
enough, but
Yeah, I think, like, obviously, the weird thing about it is actually, it's kind of the opposite of what was built up. Because, like, in the first couple of DRMs, Bram's really like, what? You guys are teaming up with Jormag? And I know it's because he doesn't like Jormag specifically. But it's weird to me that his answer is that, okay, fine, I'm going to team up with Primordus. Like, that's... It feels like... I think Champions in general has this problem, though. Like, Champions is just... It's doing way too much for what it has
I
the thing
think
to do.
Guild Wars 2 has that issue that the build up is kind of lacking.
True, but Champions is so much.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
Alright,
done
Blood-
for the next.
Yeah, me too.
too.
Blood Tide Coast. Yeah, it will be very interested once we, maybe in a year from here, get to Soto.
Hey, Commander. Looking good.
I don't think it'll be a year.
Thank you, you two. But what is going on here?
because half of that will be blind playthrough for me.
Yeah, same.
So
I honestly think
Maria can just enjoy our reactions to everything.
I think Jantier expansion. I'll probably just play it for you guys. To be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna buy it.
I bought it. I bought it.
I haven't because I haven't played any Guild Wars 2. I play with you guys. And I dropped out of my static.
Oh!
Yeah. Because Guild Wars 2 is not gripping me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when you do
not
that
holding my
100 times, and you played every role, you experience like everything. Then there's a time when you say like, I got my fun out of it, and now I'm making a break for playing.
And I'm enjoying playing other games like
Yeah.
Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think it's even like I don't think
I'm not
this
gonna
is,
buy
like-
it until we play it, probably.
Yeah, like I get that. Do you think you'll swap to your main account then?
Probably.
Yeah. I might swap to my Mesmer. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll play the. What's the newest expansion?
Toto, Jantier.
No, the Soda. But where does the letters come from?
Oh, Secrets of the Obscure.
Yeah, that one. Secrets of the Obscure one. I think I'm still gonna do that on my alt account because I want the weapons from there, like the sword on Necromancer, scepter on. Oh, scepter was the other. Yeah, scepter on Revenant for my alt account. I have done it on my main account. So you can skip ahead in the chapters to do that. So I'm gonna do that on my alt account still. I would think so.
It's kind of weird. I think for me, the only thing keeping me to this game is I'll come back for Xbox and stuff, but the only thing keeping me logging in is the guild. It kind of feels weird for me.
Currently I'm in the same situation as you. It's our weekend playthrough, which I enjoy, and the guild keeps me logging in.
And it looks like our
I
reinforcements
do,
finally decided
and
to
it's
show
not
up.
necessarily, oh, let's play Guild Wars together. It's more so I get to hang out with people. So be it that Guild Wars 2 is the medium.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel the same.
And that's not
I
a knock for me. It's not a knock on Guild Wars 2. Like,
No,
I
definitely
think Guild Wars
not.
is a very good
I think
game,
we all
obviously.
have thousands of hours in this game.
Yeah. It's just, you know, it's playing one game for 5,000 hours plus is a lot, and I think I've got more than my money's worth. But yeah, time to move on to different things.
I agree. I don't even know if I know how to play other games, like new games anymore. I've noticed that my concentration on games has gotten way worse since I've gotten older. I just don't have the mental capacity or like the interest. I lose interest really fast to, you know, sit down and give a completely new game a chance. Like to read stuff, read what the characters say, read up what some attacks do, try to get a hang of the plots. I need kind of instant gratification.
Do you have a general problem with your attention span or something? Also, Rumi, also in like a specific, for example, to your work or maybe?
It doesn't bother me at my work, but now I'm currently writing my thesis. I don't have any school. I only have my thesis. And the thesis is completely my own project, which I set my own timeline. And now I've noticed that it's really difficult. I haven't paid attention to it previously, but like I sit down to write, and I do like thousands of other times during the time. I'm like, okay, this is like writing time. I wash the kitchen. I make some food. I open my phone and do nothing on my phone. I'm not a phone person. I usually don't hang on my phone that much. Suddenly I do stuff on my phone. Oops, that's a YouTube video that's on my second screen. Haha, how did that happen? It's really difficult, and I never paid attention to how difficult it is until now. And I tried timing myself. I'm like, 30 minutes of writing, no second screen, no phone. I silence all the things. I don't read messages or anything. I can't focus 30 minutes on one thing. I just have to like read WhatsApp message in between.
Yeah.
I have to check my YouTube feed. Is there like some new videos that I want to watch? And then I click them on new tabs to watch later. Yep. Even if I don't start watching them. I set a goal for myself. Sit down 30 minutes and think about the thesis and write it, and I can read the book, the thesis book. That's my source material. I have that. I have my paper open. Those two things. And I couldn't do it for 30 minutes. It's horrible.
No, I Go ahead,
let Luria speak first. I think she's the one who.
When you say it like this, I feel like you're talking like I experienced it myself. Like that sounds so like me, and I cannot stress. I know it's a difficult step to me, but when you don't when it becomes really bothersome or really like or it stands in your way, it's maybe a good idea to talk with a professional about it and maybe use some non-intrusive medication.
I'll keep my mind open to it because it's been painful.
Yeah.
Like I cause myself pain for no discernible reason. And I don't even dislike working. I don't mind writing my thesis, but man, does it bring me pain sometimes.
Yeah, it's the same with my course. All the course is interesting, and I'm letting myself like distracted like all the time, and I couldn't like finish like a few words, and I really needed some help in the things to also organize my thoughts better, basically.
Yeah, I luckily have some systems that seems to work for me. I forget everything that I do. Like I can be like, hey, I'm gonna take this dish to the kitchen and wash the dishes. I get up from my chair, I walk to the kitchen without the dish. I arrive at the kitchen, I'm like, why am I in the kitchen?
Yeah.
It's horrible. It doesn't bother me. I just think it's kind of funny, and then I go back to my room like, oh, a dish! And then I take the dish and I walk to the kitchen. And then I do the dishes. It doesn't bother me, like those little things. I've learned to live with them really well. Thanks for the cannoneer. But I've just started paying more attention to them since the thesis writing has been so difficult. It also made me notice like my others, like everyday stuff that are kind of difficult more as well. I don't mind them. They don't bother me. I don't mind that I need to walk back to my room 3 times to remember that I needed to do the dishes. I think that's just funny. Kind of hilarious. Sometimes I get frustrated that I can't remember stuff, but quite rare.
I found for me, at least what you described with like the games and stuff.
Yeah.
I noticed that sort of stuff more after I started working. So. Like with the limited free time I had, it was as soon as that happened, as soon as I started working full time, it was very difficult to really engage in things, because I think for me it's just I am very mentally drained by the end of the day, and I just don't feel like I have the capacity left to really concentrate on something. I want to do something kind of easy, and then when it's the weekend I just kind of want to recharge, whereas when I was at like university, just doing university, that was never really an issue. I kind of had the energy left. Yeah, there was something
and learning new stuff, even if it's a game, does take energy.
Yeah. Oh, something interesting, not interesting, but funny that I've noticed myself doing, kind of related, is I'll be watching like a YouTube video on TV, on my TV, and then I'll pause, like I'll go on my phone, and then start watching a different YouTube video on my phone, with the other YouTube video just paused in the background.
Oh, okay.
Big move.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I think it's like, you know, I'll be watching like sort of something that I've said to myself that I want to watch, but I'm not really interested in it right now. But I'm like wanting to push through and watch it, and so I'm procrastinating watching this thing.
Yeah, even though it's enjoyable. Yeah, I have the same thing. I procrastinate games a lot, waiting for the quotation marks right time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rox. Like I said, Omicron can't sit this out. But there's something else.
Sometimes you have to set
response mission accounting to the
let me check
bonus
for
event,
mastery
to the
points.
dungeon rush event.
How do you get the mastery point here? It's like under the ice.
Ooh,
Yeah,
sorry,
I can lead you there.
Have I killed the instance?
No, we're not getting kicked out yet.
Come under the ice with me.
Yeah, I am under the ice. I'm under the water.
There you are. Okay.
But
Let me find it. And it was like here there is like a small
It'll be hard to convince
hole.
anyone to help.
I love
Flame Legion
holes.
not exactly on our winter
Yeah,
stay
here it is.
card list.
Lovely.
I say let him burn. It'd be ironic, but, you know, in a good way.
Does Ephraim really think that they'll recognize him as Flame Imperator?
But I gotta say,
You can
this
convince
kind of weekend deal we have that the three of us play together works well because I get to play a game, but I also get to talk shit.
I'll be there soon enough.
Mhm.
Can't guarantee
Which means
this'll
I don't
end
need
well,
to
though.
pay attention to only the game. Because that's difficult for me. I lose interest if it's just the game.
Yep.
But I get to play it. And it doesn't get boring. It's really nice.
I've found like engaging with other content around the game really helps me to get motivated. Like, so for me, I quite struggle with Elden Ring. For example, I get a lot of decision fatigue with Elden Ring, where I can't decide what to do next, and so I just don't play the game. I'm just like,
I know exactly what you mean, 100%. I had the same thing.
So what I've been doing is I've been watching an Elden Ring Let's Play while I've been playing. And what I often find happens is as I'm watching it, I like get halfway through the episode and I'm like, I really want to play that. Like, this looks fun. I want to play this.
I do the exact same thing. I engage in build videos of BG3, challenge videos of, oh, can you beat BG3 by only walking and never attacking anything and things. And I'm like super hyped about them. That gets me to play. It only takes you so far. At some point, you've watched most of the videos that are interesting, right?
Yes.
But as long as you have very interesting, fun videos to watch on the side, my interest will stay on the game. I used the very same strategy. Very good. Works. Now I kind of hijacked it from you, but I just feel that so hard. Like that's me. I point. Same hat. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I think my issue with I'm completely fine with doing it with Elden Ring because I have well and truly spoiled myself on the game. As in, I know the bosses, I know the lore, I know the quest lines. I've watched content, so I don't really care about spoilers. Whereas when it comes to like BG3, it's a bit more tricky.
Yeah.
Because I have played the game, I have completed the game, obviously, but I haven't completed the Dark Urge storyline, for example, and I know there are quite substantial quests and stuff with that storyline, so I'm always a bit conscious. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to. I want to see it for myself. I want to experience the twist for myself. Whereas Elden Ring doesn't really have that. Like, you know, as much as Elden Ring has good lore and a nice backdrop,
more of a gameplay game.
Yeah, like I'm not really too fussed. I'm like, oh my god, the beast clergyman's Malekith. Like, you know, that it's not really like, it's like an oh that's nice sort of thing, but not a
I get it.
game changing experience.
I'm always I get really motivated to watch when a new game drops that I really enjoy. I always want to watch challenge videos and other fun videos made about it, and I'm always like struggling like, oh man, I really want to watch the video, but it's gonna have spoilers. And then I struggle. I'm like, I need to finish the game, but then I feel more motivated to watch the video than to finish the game, and then I just struggle of wanting to watch the video, but being like, okay, I need to finish the game quicker, and then I can watch all these cool videos.
Yeah.
But I'm more motivated for the videos than the game, and then I don't play the game, and it's like a vicious loop.
I think sometimes you just have to accept that you're gonna get spoiled. That's what I did with Elden Ring. I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Like, I'm going to experience this story one way or another. I'll just push through with it. I think I was more okay with Elden Ring because I was starting to accept, at least at that point in time, I don't think I'm actually going to finish this game. I think that's fine. I don't have no issues with that, and so I'll just experience it through in other ways.
Yeah, sounds good.
Whereas Baldur's Gate, I haven't quite got to that yet. Like, I still have much intentions of playing the Dark Urge, just not yet.
Something that helps, it's not a solution to every game, but something that also can help with the choice fatigue or like game fatigue, where you would really want to play the game, but somehow you're just not playing the game, even though you would want to. Co-op run helps with that. That's one of the reason I play BG3 these days, is because I'm playing through it with my buddy. Yeah, because then you're committed to the other person. It's not just a promise to yourself, but to someone else as well, and you're more likely to hold up to it. And then you just need to cross the threshold of actually playing the game. Once you start playing, keeping playing is not the issue. It's always starting, usually.
Yeah.
Of picking it up again after a full works week, or picking it after you've been busy for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's why, because I was going to say earlier about like the thesis. For me, to motivate myself to do mine was, I didn't even, like, half an hour, too much. I would set myself a minuscule goal, like seriously minuscule. I would say, right, today I'm going to write one sentence towards my thesis. Just one sentence.
You just need to start, honestly.
And I would always do more. I would, I'd write one sentence, and then I'd like, oh, okay, I'm not going to write one sentence. Let's write. And then all of a sudden, I've spent 3 hours on my I mean, for me, it wasn't a thesis; it was a project. But I found that worked really well. And so it's a similar thing for games. Though I did find there was a couple of cases, like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, for example. I did that. I jumped on and I was like, okay, I'm going to do one thing. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. This game isn't gripping me. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to push through just because I feel like I should play this game. I'm not enjoying it. I'm bored. And so I just stopped. And I think that's, sometimes it's okay to accept that, you just don't want to play it.
Yep. I agree. And that can be difficult to admit to yourself that, you would like to enjoy the game. You probably, during different time in your life, probably would enjoy the game. If it doesn't grip you now, it's okay to kind of, quotation marks, give up.
Yep.
And that can be difficult.
The Witcher 3? I started and quit that game like 4 times. But then one time, it just hooked me. Like, one time I got it, I got through, I finished the game.
That's all
really
you need.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about, like, I always say this when I buy games on, like, sale. I'm just like, okay, I'm not playing it now, but it's always going to be there. I can always come back to it. Mass Effect. I bought that game probably like 2 years before I actually played it. And probably people were like, oh, that's a waste of money then, why would you? But then I did play it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Why I can't really get behind, the sort of Xbox Game Pass sort of thing. I like having, like, I pay it, it's mine forever. I know of Steam that's not technically
we're a
true.
bit similar in that aspect. I do have the same thing that I might attempt a game, it just doesn't grip me. But it only takes it one time, and I'm absolutely in love with the game.
It's I don't think it's obviously the game's one aspect of it, but I think you know where you are in life, how much free time you have, are all really big factors. Because I think for Witcher 3, I played it over Christmas break, which I think is probably mostly why I was able to kind of engage with it more. And I had a similar thing with Pokemon Legends of Arceus. When I got it when it first came out, and I was super excited about it, but I couldn't get into it. But I think with both of them, you know, I started playing it just like on normal working week. I picked it up after I was done at work, or I played it over the weekend, and I can only play for like an hour or two at a time, and I've got to finish up. Whereas this time I had like 2 weeks off. It was a Christmas break or something, and I just binged it and could really sink the hours into it, which allowed me to really get into it and enjoy it. But do you guys ever find you know, there's probably like stages in your life, you have a game and you're at work or school or whatever, and you're like, I cannot wait to get home and play this game. Like,
I miss those times because those have gotten rare. Those have gotten so rare. The older I've gotten, they've kind of slipped away from me.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly what
I do remember them fondly. I've had like, I think 4 or 5 years, or even longer. I really got into Warframe.
Oh.
And I was at school, like vocational school, and I was just thinking, man, I lived in a dormitory, right? So during school week, I couldn't play at all. I could only play during weekends when I came home from the dormitory. So the whole week I was just thinking, man, I need to get to, like, I was just thinking what I'll do in the game, and man, I need to get back to playing the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't have the whole week thing, but I mean, that was Guild Wars 1 for me. Like during school days, I'd just be like, oh man, I'm so excited to go home and play Guild Wars 1. But I got that BG3. Like that was BG3 was very much like I was working. I was like, oh, I just want to play BG3. This is all I want to do.
Yeah, I think BG3 did the same thing. Way less for me, to be fair. Like it wasn't as strong.
Ram, can you hear me? Do you
But a little bit of that, like super excitement, man. I can't wait for the next time I can play it. How about you, Luria? Every person is a bit different, so.
I had this really as a child when I was at school, and oh boy, I can't wait to get home and play this game. I can't even remember when was the last time. I think I had that, but like often with, I don't know, Guild Wars 2 and also Final Fantasy 14. But not in that capacity as back in the days, I think.
Maybe we're all getting old.
I think there's the we need to CC Bram, by the way.
Yeah. I've been doing that.
The thing I saw is like that kind of explained it to an extent for me, or you know, a theory as to why it's the case is like when you're young. A lot of these concepts are novel, like you haven't experienced things like this before, but as you age, something has to be really new and gripping compared to what you've already experienced to give you that feeling again.
I can't believe I forgot this. There was actually a game in the moment, like a few years ago. So Cap was buying a Nintendo Switch, and then he like visited his hometown for like 2 weeks. So I was there when the Switch came with Breath of the Wild. So I tried it, and I basically for a few days I basically wake up, played this game, then into the night, then slept, and the first thing I did, like when I wake up, I was playing this game, and I was like, and every day was like, oh my god, it's so fun, it's so good.
I remember one time I got a prompt in Guild Wars 1. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. The prompt says, "You have been playing for 14 hours, please take a break."
Oh shit.
And I was like, and I don't think I've ever done anything like that since. That wasn't like, 14 hours was like a peak, don't get me wrong. But I could just play that game for hours and hours and hours and hours. I don't even know what I did in that time. Like, my Guild Wars 1 account is so unimpressive. I'm just like,
yeah, but as a kid, you can you can play like old Pokemon games, just run around, not progress, and you're like having the time of your life.
I just replayed the story over and over and over again.
They're willing to work with us. Come quickly.
I didn't care about the story. I didn't know anything about the story. Well, I did, but I didn't know much about the story.
I mean, just going and going through the world was, I think, especially as a kid, like you're exploring new places. You don't know, like as a child or as a teenager, you don't really know how the world is connected with each other, and it feels like endless.
You look at it at different eyes. That's true. Yeah. Like the Eloysius point about everything is kind of what was the word you used? Novel. Yeah.
It will only get worse.
Also, as a child, I didn't try and optimize everything, whereas now I'm like,
I watched him struggle with.
I often optimize the fun out of games.
I have that little bit of the same thing. Sometimes optimizing can be fun, but especially in BG3, like we talked before, optimizing that game can get very specific.
Yeah.
And then it changes the gameplay vastly.
Yeah.
Timmy, can we count?
And I think that's one of those games where, depending on what kind of person you are, I don't think there's anything wrong with optimizing whatsoever.
No, absolutely not. No.
For me, there's a risk that I optimize the fun out of BG3. Yes. Like if I take it too seriously mechanically, I enjoy it less than just taking it silly and role playing. My fondest memories are always like role playing moments.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm okay if it ends something like Elden Ring or BG3, because for me, actually, what I get enjoyment out of is that aspect of it. Like I enjoy feeling like I've worked hard to overcome something in those games. Whereas in other games, let's take like just some generic RPG, Cyberpunk for example. It's not really a hard game. It's like if you're playing on normal difficulty, it's not really a hard game. It's really about the exploration, the story, the environment.
Yeah.
But I still would like, oh well, I need to get the best in slot weapon for my build and overthinking that sort of stuff.
Funny that you say that. I actually played Cyberpunk just normally. I did not check what's best in. Yeah, but I finished. That's rare for me. I usually can't help myself to go look at build videos. I always just go look at them and I'm like, oh, I need to have that OP setup. I didn't do that for Cyberpunk. I just played it with the weapons I found. I'm like, hey, this is fun. I like this weapon.
I wish I could do that more.
I'm kind of proud of myself now that I think I didn't realize it, but now that you pointed out, that was actually kind of nice. I didn't regret it.
Yeah, I think that the thing is as well, like you just kind of engage a bit more organically with
the systems and the story and
with
the situations.
RPG and the RPG, like even just the buildcraft aspects. You come up with your own ideas, you come up with your own synergies, or you don't. And then when you do come back to it, you're like, oh, how did I not see that? And that's fine. But like if you're just following build videos, and by the way, I'm not criticizing anyone for doing it because I do it as well. But you kind of get how to play the game fed to you.
I agree. And I do that as well. So coming as from someone who watches all the build videos.
But again, that's probably not the worst thing for me that I dislike about how I play games these days. What I really wish I could get over, and I think this is what stops me from enjoying a lot of games as much as I could, is I feel the need to experience everything.
Everything.
And to the point where I'm like, doing these side quests and stuff
mind-numbing
as a
side
chore.
quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to experience this side quest. I don't really want to do it, but it could have really fun content, and so I'm going to do the side quest. And then you find out, okay, it's a pretty dull side quest, but it could have been a fun side quest. So you do the next one, and it's dull, it's dull, it's dull,
And
it's dull, it's dull.
I gotta say, Elden Ring, I'm still working on it, but I've finally given up the thing that I need to find every single weapon, I need to do every single catacombs, every single dungeon. I just look from the internet what spells I want.
Yes.
I just go get those spells, and then I play the game.
That is
and
exactly
this is the
what I'm
first,
doing in this playthrough. Yep.
That's the first time ever I managed to do that in a game, that I choose not to engage with the side content, and I'm happier for it. I'm so much happier for it. And also, specifically for Dark Souls games, I can be stubborn. I'd be like, oh, I need to 1v1 this boss. Like, honorable duel. Would you look at that? I'm much more of a positive mood if I use spirit summons for a boss and do it in 3 attempts, kinda quotation mark cheesy strats, than banging my head against the wall for hours on end.
Yep. We are so in sync there, because what you're describing is exactly my attitude with this Elden Ring playthrough. Right? I have beelined my build, so I knew what I wanted. I knew what kind of build I wanted to play, and I did the content to do that build, and then I progressed in the main story. So to get to and kill Godric took me about 4 hours, compared to my previous playthroughs, where I think one of them I was 20 hours in, hadn't even killed Godric yet. The other one, it took me like 15 hours to kill Godric, and then the other one, it took me like 12 hours to kill Godric, because I felt the need to explore every nook and cranny of Limgrave, of the Weeping Peninsula, of East Limgrave, before I got there. And this
my first playthrough took like 100 plus hours, because I just did everything organically.
Yeah.
And Elden Ring is such a big game. I was kind of burned out by then. I never finished that one. Like my OG dexterity ninja character. I love ninjas, so I kind of made a ninja there. I never finished that because I just got burned out of the game, because I wanted to explore and do everything, and I might have found the next boss, and I was on purpose putting off story progression, because I need to do everything before a boss. Like everything available in that area before I do that boss. And I burned out. I came back 3 months ago, 1 week before the DLC released. Logged back into my old character. Finally finished the game. I only had 3 bosses left in the entire game. Finished it. Just without worrying about doing everything. I just finished it. Started a new character. Finished that character in 40 hours. I finished the game. It took me 100 hours on my first character. And I enjoyed every second of it. It was fun. It was nice going back to the game since back when it was first released, doing completely new, different kind of build, and being more relaxed on just using spirit summons, using cheesy strats.
I think something that potentially new players / players in general probably underestimate is the power of, like, not necessarily leveling up, but upgrading your weapons.
Yeah.
Because for me, I put so much effort into making sure I was like a high level in my first playthrough. I was like, oh, I want to get to level 50 or whatever before I get to Godric. But actually, if you just like beeline smithing
weapon
stones,
levels matter way more.
Yeah, beeline smithing stones, get your weapon upgraded. It can really trivialize the early content. And I'm okay with that. In this case, it's not optimizing the fun out of it; it's optimizing the fun into it. Because I was
I love that, optimizing the fun into it.
I wasn't enjoying struggling as much as I was. I know some people get joy out of that and they want to overcome it with skill. That's perfectly fine. It's not for me.
No, but it's hard to admit to yourself that you enjoyed the game differently than the hardcore challenge.
Yeah.
One-on-one things, because there can be this idea that that's the purest form of enjoyment out of the game. But the game gives you so many tools to tackle boss fights that it's kind of fun to use them.
You can always play the game again. You know, you can play the game multiple ways in different ways. So if you want to get through it, the funnest way to you, fine. And if you feel the need to come back and like, you know what, I feel like I could do this with a bit more challenge. Great, fine. I think sometimes I force myself. Like I feel like, oh, I must. This is the only time I'm going to play the game. I must experience it best possible way, and then never touch it again.
Yeah, that's a bit silly mindset.
It is indeed, yeah.
It's
absolutely.
a mindset I have, but it's a silly mindset.
But anyway, sorry. Before we keep going, I'm going to wrap up the recording there.
Yes.
Because we're just standing around an island north, so I may as well just cut this off. So, thank you very much, YouTube.
Thank you,
hopefully we'll reconvene next week. Bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye.